over the left and drops the challenger.
Pressure from Thomas off the edge. Eli Manning stays on his feet. Airs it out down the field. It is caught by Tyree.
Just attack the basket. James catches, puts in the three. Go, go. Back out to Allen. History dribble back. Tie game with 5 seconds remaining. Anything's possible.
Our first topic today, Rob Gronkowski traded to the Buccaneers. Big news, especially after them signing Tom Brady. How do you feel about this trade?
I think it was a steal for the Bucs, really, just giving up a 4th-round pick.
I think so too. I thought Belichick was going to be a lot more stingy with what they were going to give up to get Gronk.
Yeah, I guess he was just ready to move on.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like Gronk probably had more leverage than the Patriots did, since if he unretired, their cap space, like, they weren't going to have any left. So I guess he had a little bit more leverage in this sense, but I didn't expect just a 4th-round pick. That came out of nowhere.
Yeah, maybe it was partially just out of respect for Gronk for how long he's been there.
It might be, but that also kind of shows you just the atmosphere that the Patriots, their organization, kind of plays in, because their 2 biggest stars they've had in probably the last decade
Forever,
both
man.
left. Yeah. They only got Edelman left, but even then, I think Edelman, this trade will be big to see if he stays or not, I think, in my opinion.
His numbers are going to go down.
Yeah, definitely. They're going to have to do something big in this draft. If they don't draft a quarterback, I think it'll be bad for them.
If they don't draft a quarterback, I think they'll sign Newton.
Yeah, or Jameis.
Yeah. Thing with Newton, though, I can't see him getting along with Belichick.
Yeah, he doesn't really seem like the Belichick type. But to be fair, neither does Gronk, really. I mean, but
made it work. Yeah.
Besides the partying, he never really had any off-the-field issues. And even the partying, it was like he wasn't doing anything illegal. It was just him being a dummy. I could also see Jameis. The only thing with Jameis, though, is he's got to stop the turnovers. And that's why I think the Tom Brady addition will be huge for the Bucs, because if you count fumbles lost and interceptions, Jameis had 35 this year, or last year, I guess.
Yeah.
And if you count that same for Brady, he had 9.
Yeah.
So you limit all those interceptions and fumbles down to 9, and you add someone who's going to be smart with the ball. He's the greatest quarterback ever. He's shown up in every single big moment. You have the recipe, I think, for a team that's going to probably go 13-3.
13-3.
Wow. I mean, if you look at their record, all their hardest games are at home, and even then, their hardest game is Kansas City. Other than that, their tough games are like the Saints, they're a good team, don't get me wrong. Then Green Bay, their road schedule is just a joke.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and say 11-5.
I respect that. But I just think they have so many offensive weapons, and we haven't even seen who they've drafted yet. We'll see that tonight.
Yeah,
I think.
Can't wait for that.
I'm excited.
The next couple of days, those late rounds, they're still big.
Yeah. I mean, if they draft, I think first round they should pick a offensive lineman. Then second round, get a running back, maybe a really good running back, maybe Cam Akers from Florida State, because he's really good at catching the ball, and that's what Brady loves, is a running back that can go out there and receive. And I think if you have someone, the problem with the Bucs is, who do you double? Because you have so many deep threats and
Godwin
so many
and Evans.
Yeah, because if you have Mike Evans on one side, Chris Godwin on the other, and Gronk up the middle, you're just like, it's pick your poison at that point. And you've got a smart quarterback who knows how to make great decisions. And if they sign someone like Devontae Freeman, possibilities are endless.
Yeah, but I think they might out the gate. They might not struggle, but they might lose most of the games at the beginning of the season just because they haven't had time to play together.
Yeah, chemistry will be a big part.
Since they can't see each other right now,
Yeah.
They can only call and text, really.
The good thing is that great Brady and Gronk already have the chemistry. Godwin and Evans already have the chemistry. And is that Kadama?
Yeah, bro.
But
Continue.
so they already have they good portion of their players already have this chemistry, and they haven't signed a lot of big name free agents or even free agents in general.
Mhm.
So they kind of kept the core together. Plus, you get a guy like Bruce Arians, and I think it was someone on, it was either First Take or Undisputed, said like, we've seen Gronk, he's already partying and dancing and all that under the strict Belichick system. Imagine how he's going to do under the Bruce Arians win or lose we booze type atmosphere where every day's a party, and that'll be interesting to see.
And in Tampa Bay, it's a lot different than New England.
I mean, they're only 90 minutes away from like the WWE Center, so Gronk's living life right now. But it'll be interesting to see. I kind of have the same theory about like if the NBA continues the season, like the chemistry, like the Jazz chemistry, I think is going to be ruined.
Yeah, and and Giannis, he said he doesn't even have a basketball goal, so he hasn't put up shots in
He
forever.
doesn't.
Said he hasn't shot since his last game.
Yeah, that's wow.
They're all gonna come back and be trash.
They're gonna be like that one meme where you ever seen that meme where the I'll play it, I'll put it in, where the two 5-on-5 teams are playing on like this court, and like they're all jumping over each other and like airballing everything, and they look like some fools. You ever seen that?
No.
Oh, I'll play a clip. I'll edit it in, but
Damn! No, DeAndre! One more! One more!
Swing it! Yes. Swing it the wrong way.
It also reminds me of like in Space Jam when they all lose their powers.
that's what it's gonna be. My fear is gonna be someone like Curry, who he was injured, and by the time he's healthy enough to get up shots, he's not gonna be able to.
Yeah,
I don't know if he has a court in his house.
Didn't he only play like 2 games when he came back?
I don't even know if he's played since
He
the
played
injury.
1. I know he played 1 at least.
Yeah, so he's gonna be rusty. Clay's gonna be rusty. Clay's gonna be done.
Durant on the Nets.
I feel like
John
Clay's just gonna
Wall.
be Andre. What's his name? Andre Roberson.
Ooh.
He's just gonna be a defense guy. But
I'm just hope it comes back. But from what I've been hearing, it's
it's not looking good. And coming from a Lakers fan, our best year since
that hurts.
since 2010 really, and they cut it.
Yep. But yeah, it's because in Spain today they just announced that the soccer league is going to be held without fans till 2021. So that's the first league to really do something big.
Yeah, I feel like that might be what the NFL does, because I feel like by August they're gonna at least. I feel like it's gonna get better to the point where they're just gonna have no fans. I feel like that'll be the bare minimum. But I wonder, do you know if the UFC is still going through with that island fight?
Well, I think that got shut down, but they're trying to do a fight May 9th, I believe.
Oh,
It
really?
could be on the island. I don't know.
I'm bummed that Khabib and Ferguson got canceled for like the 6th time.
Yeah, I don't know if that fight will ever happen. Maybe it'll be like the Pacquiao Mayweather fight. They're like 40 years old.
Yeah, they're gonna be old. It's not gonna matter anymore. It's gonna be like whenever Tito and Chuck Liddell fought when they were both like 44. But I mean, I was bummed because that was truly gonna be one of the biggest UFC fights ever.
Yeah,
Like
biggest
you have
one, probably since Khabib Conor.
Yeah,
A couple years ago.
especially in the lightweight division, yeah. And but this was a guy who, this is a lot like the McGregor hype. This was a guy who everyone's saying, oh, Khabib needs to fight him. He needs to stop fighting these other people and fight the real top dog of the lightweight division. And
That's always been his thing. People say it's the easy opponents.
Yeah, and I mean, um, from my understanding, Russia allows private planes to leave and come into the country. So, and that was his excuse, saying that he's not allowed to leave the country. So, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to talk trash because he would choke me out before I could even blink. But I think,
Yeah.
I think he's kind of hiding.
Yeah, but he's extremely talented because I'm a huge McGregor fan, and
Me too.
McGregor got whooped.
Yeah, he got babied. Um, this was that's why I think the fight against Cowboy was so huge for him because
Yeah, he had to win that fight.
yeah, even though he was coming off going, what was it, 12 rounds? Or no, sorry, 10 rounds against arguably the greatest pound for pound boxer ever. So he lost there. Then he loses to arguably, I think, has a good argument to be called the greatest lightweight of all time in Khabib. So even though we don't give him too much crap because it's like, well, look who he's going against. 2 losses is a big deal for someone who's seen as really the face of the UFC, and that was a big win for him to
Yeah,
come in. He's facing like a really a pioneer of the sport. I mean, I think Cerrone has the most wins of all time,
yeah,
the most fights, the most fight night bonuses. You know, he's really a pioneer of UFC, and he is a little older, and he's a little banged up, but I mean, he beat him in like 44 seconds. That was
yeah,
huge for him. And Stephen A. Smith was saying, I love Stephen A. Smith. I think he's hilarious, but he has no place commentating or like doing post fight analysis of UFC. It's an embarrassment because he has no idea what he's talking about. He was calling him a quitter and all of that. And there's such a misconception with UFC
yeah.
fighters compared to
That's the one.
boxers.
That's the one thing Max can talk about because
Yeah,
he's a boxing analyst, but he knows a lot about UFC as well.
yeah. I mean, Max has studied boxing his whole life, but
Yeah,
even then, I remember he had a take. Um, I don't remember what fight it was for, but he was saying how it was for Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. I don't know if it was the first or second one, but either way, he was saying that in boxing, there um, the the kind of the atmosphere around boxing is that it's a true man sport, and like you have to have a heart to play there versus in UFC is kind of has a reputation for having quitters because they tap and all that, and that doesn't make any sense because if you're in an arm bar, the fight's over.
yeah.
But anyways, but
Speaking of Fury Wilder, though, that second fight was a great fight.
yeah, I didn't get the chance to watch the full thing, but I saw a lot of the highlights. Um, it was incredible. I mean, Wilder's
About
jaw, incredible.
thinking about Wilder though, the excuse he came up with for getting a
That's the
third fight,
dumbest thing.
that lost him a lot of fans. I think.
That's just such a weak excuse. It's like if you knew you were gonna do that, like why make that excuse?
It's like when you lose the Super Bowl and you say, "Oh yeah, I was hurt." By the way,
No excuses. It's like it reminds me of back in the early UFC. I think Hoist Gracie was fighting, or it was someone fighting this dude his entrance was he had this giant wooden cross, and he was carrying it all the way up until the octagon, and he lost the fight, and he was saying that his the cross tired him out. It's like you didn't have to do that. You could have just walked in. But
maybe Stephen A. Smith was right about something.
what's that? About what?
Fighters being babies.
I mean, if Kellerman and them want to talk about being quitters, they should bring up how they're bringing up excuses about their pre-fight entrance. But I want to get to the NFL draft. It'll be happening in about 6 hours?
2 o'clock now. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think
This is one of the most talented drafts in a while.
I think so too, especially from a QB standpoint and a wide receiver
Receiver-wise.
standpoint. Yeah. It's
You can't
crazy.
go wrong
I
in the
is
first
it safe
round.
to assume that maybe the safest pick is Burrow?
I'd say.
He's the safest number one lock, but in terms of overall players, how they're going to turn out, who do you think has not only the most potential but is the safest pick?
I'm a huge Clemson fan, all right? So I might be biased. But Isaiah Simmons, all right?
Yeah,
He
I've
can
heard
play anywhere on the defensive side of the field.
I've heard a lot about him. My
At
dad said,
Clemson, he played almost every defensive position at least once.
yeah, my dad was saying he's the next Lawrence Taylor. I won't go that far, but I
Not
get
yet,
from
not
a
yet.
skill set standpoint, I can kind of
He's
see where he's coming from.
he's like one of the
Incredible.
fastest dudes on the field playing linebacker.
Yeah, and yeah, but like you were saying, the wide receiver, like all that class is just it's crazy. And
Loaded.
so if we look at every team, we kind of have a mock draft pulled up, and we're gonna give our opinions on who we think is going where. So I think it's safe to say the number one pick is going to be
Bro,
Joe Burrow. That's
that's as
pretty
close to
obvious.
100% as it could be.
Yeah, he might not be the safest pick out of all of them, but he's the biggest lock of the night, I think. Number two, I think Chase Young's pretty.
I'd say that's like a 95% chance of that.
I agree. I think that's really good. The Lions have a third pick, and who do we think they're picking there? Do we go Jeff Okudah?
Yeah, I'd 90% chance of that.
That's a good choice. Do you think the Dolphins go and trade with them?
That's another possibility. It's I think the only reason they would trade up though is if they think for some reason the Lions or the Giants are going to pick a quarterback, which I've
Yeah.
heard the Giants they like Herbert, but they have
Yeah.
Daniel Jones.
I mean, it's a good point. I think Daniel Jones, in my opinion, is a little overrated.
Mhm.
I think, especially he had that game-winning drive on the Bucs. That was, and then everyone acted like he was like
Danny
the best
Dimes.
quarterback in the league. Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Anyways,
But
but
if I was the Dolphins GM, I think I would just sit at 5. I don't see the Giants or the Lions drafting Herbert or Tua.
yeah,
So I'd sit at 5.
I think so too. I don't think there's any worry that the Lions are gonna pick a quarterback. I mean, even if they do, so let's say they pick Justin Herbert, you still have Tua available, and but I just can't see
I
the
don't think the
Lions.
trade up is worth it because
Yeah,
they're gonna have to give something else up as well.
I don't see the Lions or the Giants taking a quarterback. So I think I agree. I think Kuda is the safe pick for the third.
So
The Giants is where it gets interesting.
lineman would be the smartest pick for them.
Yeah, you have by far your franchise running back.
Yeah,
You
but
have a promising rookie, or I guess this will be a second year. You have a defense that is kind of trying to get its footing.
yeah,
I think offensive tackle, yeah, Tristan Wirfs. I think he's a safe choice.
or Wills Jr. out of Alabama.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
that's the smartest, but I think drafting Simmons has the better chance of. It's not as maybe smart as a pick, but it could make a bigger difference. I think.
yeah. I mean, it's just all about what do you want to patch up? If you want to make Barkley
The
more
defense
effective,
be a lot better,
yeah,
but Barkley is going to take a few more hits.
yeah. I mean, but
And Daniel Jones.
Barkley's shown that he's a lot like Barry Sanders in the sense of being able to get past that first level without much
Abuse.
offensive line help.
Mhm. Sort of. I was gonna say sort of like Le'Veon Bell, but the way Le'Veon Bell runs, he kind of directs his linemen.
Yeah, Barkley kind of just he'll go the complete other way of the way the line's shifting. He'll go in between the tackles. He'll go anywhere. He'll take it outside. So I think a lineman could help, but I think you're right. Isaiah Simmons, I think he can completely transform that defense. I kind of see a game-changing defensive player in him. because
He's a winner too.
like you said, he has those winning intangibles. He can play any position on the field really. He can cover. He can go after the quarterback. He can really do it all. So I think either way, a lineman or the linebacker, I think it'll be a good choice for them.
Yeah, they're in a good position for that pick.
Yeah, as far as who I think, I'm gonna go with Isaiah Simmons. I think that'll be the best choice for them.
That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping they pick him.
I wouldn't be surprised if they pick one of the linemen though, either Tristan Wirfs or the Alabama guy.
Yeah.
So we have the Dolphins. This is interesting. So Tua's stock's fallen a lot because I guess people just remembered his injuries. I never understood why. Yeah, I don't get why is his stock falling now versus just a month ago. You know, I guess people just forgot that he had some injuries.
And since they couldn't really do a physical, you know, because of all the corona stuff.
Yeah, that is true.
And they didn't really do anything at the combine. So.
Yeah. So, do we think Herbert over Tua? I mean, will this be
Tua.
I think so too. Do you think this will be a Dolphins passing up on Drew Brees scenario where they take the lesser quarterback? I mean, Tua's shown that he can. To be fair, he has played for a great system in college, but he's shown that in the big games, he can show up when it matters the most. I mean, we're both from Georgia. We remember although we're not Georgia fans, we remember that dagger he threw.
Yeah, my heart stopped, and I don't even like
I know. I don't like Georgia, but I felt bad for him. Was that the same game that the kicker missed was it the game-winning field goal?
Yeah, I think
the one with the glasses. Yeah.
Blankenship. He's in this draft. He might get drafted.
Oh wow. Yeah, I'm going with Tua. I think honestly, even though he has injuries, I think he's the safer pick. But here's a potential.
You're gonna have to get a line.
Yeah. Here's the theory though. Do you think the Dolphins go all in, get the 3rd and the 5th pick, stock up on linemen, tank another year, and possibly get Trevor Lawrence?
That's an interesting theory, but I see them just getting Tua.
Yeah, I mean
that's a lot to do, but that would be pretty interesting.
Especially with the AFC East right now, with the Patriots looking like as of now on the decline.
They could get last in the AFC East this year.
Yeah, I mean the Buffalo Bills, they're coming off a playoff berth. They look promising. You've got the Jets. I think I give you a lot of crap for the Jets, but I think they have a solid team. I mean, think about how would they go 7-9?
What was it? I think it was 6-10.
6-10, 7-9, or they went around there.
We won like 5 in a row. Like we really did well at the end of the year.
Your quarterback had mono. You know, so
we should have won week 1, and we choked the game against the Bills. So we should have started 1-0, and then he got mono week 2. So that
and they've shown that their defense can really get to the quarterback and stop the run. They've got Le'Veon Bell. I think they have a promising quarterback.
Jamal, if they can keep him.
Yeah, they've got Jamal. Yeah, and so though I think it'll actually be kind of a battle for the AFC East. I don't think this is maybe the first time since Brady was injured in, what was it, 2012 or something like that, that, you know, it's gonna be a race to win the AFC East. With Brady gone and Gronk not playing and Edelman's kind of the lone star there. They don't have a quarterback as of now. We'll see what happens tonight. Do you see the Patriots pulling out a quarterback?
I really want to be surprised if they get someone like Eason, or maybe from day 2.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that happening. I mean, obviously, they have a history of picking quarterbacks late and doing okay with them. You know.
I really see them getting someone like Fromm. Fromm is someone I think should have stayed at Georgia another year, but I can see him in a Patriots uniform.
Yeah, and also they've shown, and don't get me wrong, at the end of the day, if you're going to be a Super Bowl winning team, unless you have a fantastic defense, which they do, you're going to need a above average quarterback to win a Super Bowl. You know, it's very rare you get, you know, a Trent Dilfer or a Brad Johnson to win you a Super Bowl. You're going to need that type of defense. And although the Patriots defense is great, I don't think it's 2000 Ravens or 2002 Buck level even. I think they're going to need a quarterback this year, and especially if they want to keep Edelman and guys like that. They're gonna need a ball player, and I wouldn't be surprised if Belichick is like, you know what, we're gonna need a franchise quarterback to keep up with these young teams coming out of the AFC East.
Yeah, he's not just gonna sit back in his last few years of coaching, just losing.
Yeah, and I feel like deep down, even though they probably won't admit it, but I think him and Brady are kind of destined and motivated to prove who can be more successful without, you know, the other person. I think Belichick wants to prove it, and I think Brady definitely wants to prove it, because Brady has constantly had the system quarterback label over his head, which is just ridiculous. But I guess we'll see. So let's see. So where are we at now? Okay, so sixth pick, the Chargers.
7 or 6?
6.
I'm gonna say Herbert.
Yeah, I think no matter who picks who, I think it'll be the two quarterbacks following each other. It'll be either be Herbert to a Herbert.
Yeah, Herbert, you know, from the West Coast and playing at Oregon. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think he would fit there more than Tua.
Yeah, and I think that they definitely need a quarterback. I don't see them at all passing up on a quarterback.
They got Eckler.
Yeah, they got Derwin James from Florida
Mike
State.
Williams.
Yeah, they have who's their wide receiver? They have a really good wide receiver. Keenan Allen. Yeah. They have some ball players, and I think adding
Bosa's amazing.
They got Bosa. Yeah,
Seen the new uniforms as well.
They're nice. I think their uniforms and the Bucs uniforms are like, not these alarm clock.
I'd say Chargers. Yeah, those are nasty.
But I can't wait I'm gonna get a Brady uniform. But yeah, they're up there with the Bucs uniforms in my opinion. They might be better just because those lightning bolts are really cool. So I think a quarterback will fit them well. I think that's the piece they need right now.
Yep.
Let's see. So now
7,
we're at
Panthers.
Yeah, the Panthers. I could see them taking Isaiah Simmons if
he's still there. Yeah.
Yeah, if he's still
there.
If
he's there, I think they 100% will take him. But I don't really know.
I don't know who else they can get. I'm looking at who else they can get. And I just don't really see. It's a lot of tackles, some wide receivers.
They couldn't go wrong with the tackle.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt, but sorry, I was popping my back. Is Teddy Bridgewater really your guy?
I think so. I think he came in and played really well for the Saints last year.
Yeah.
And he was a really solid quarterback with the Vikings before his injury. I think you get him at least a year or two.
Yeah, I think so too. It's just it's kind of a question mark at that position.
I could even see them getting CeeDee Lamb out of Oklahoma, a really talented receiver.
Yeah, I mean, I could see them taking a wide receiver. A tackle would make sense to kind of help Christian McCaffrey out because he's their guy right now. They just signed him to a big contract. I think that could be their guy for the future. But yeah, I mean, if Isaiah Simmons is still available, because I don't see the Dolphins or Chargers picking him, and if the Giants pass up on him, then that's your guy. But if not, I don't know. I guess a lineman. You got to help out your franchise guy and also protect Bridgewater. So I think it's either Isaiah Simmons or like maybe Willis or Derek Brown or something like that.
Yeah, Derek Brown, he's a really good defensive lineman. Yeah, that's a good point. I wouldn't be surprised if they get Derek Brown either.
Yeah, I think Isaiah Simmons would be big because they obviously just lost Kuechly, and
They lost a lot this offseason.
yeah, you could add to the young defense they have because they do have Brian Burns from Florida State who's playing really well, especially for a young guy. So I think a defensive player wouldn't be bad. But if Isaiah Simmons is available, I think he's the guy for them. He can add a lot. He's so versatile. So
8.
the Cardinals. This is interesting. They're an interesting team this year.
I think they'll make the playoffs.
I think so too. They're in a really interesting position because they have Kyler Murray, who had a really good rookie year, and he's showing a lot of potential. He could improve a lot this year.
Hopkins.
Yeah, they got Hopkins. They just stole
free.
him, and then they have a veteran presence with Larry Fitzgerald. I don't know. I could see
I'd
a
say offensive
lineman.
lineman.
Yeah, I could see.
Protect Kyler.
Yeah, I could see Willis. I could definitely see him. I could see Andrew Thomas.
Yeah, Thomas is he's huge. He's a really good lineman.
Yeah.
Another thing that they could do is possibly trade down later in the first round and get a running back. I know they have Kenyon Drake, but I think Kenyon Drake, he's really good. I like him, but is he a 3-down running back?
I don't think so. I think he's kind of like a
Change of pace.
Yeah, I mean, he's just kind of a speed guy, you know. I don't really see him more than just that. I don't really think he's your next guy. I just can't see that with him. I think he's good, but I don't know. Only time will tell, I guess. But
they could trade down and get like a J.K. Dobbins or someone like that.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I think it's the safe pick will be either Willis or Andrew Thomas.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll have to see. I'm really excited to watch them play.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we're only going to do top 11 just because we've already talked long enough. We're not about to do 32. All right. So let's see who's next.
The Jaguars at 9.
Yeah, we got the Jags.
They need everybody.
Yeah.
They're trying to get rid of Fournette now, I heard.
It's just like, what do you get what do you get from that? The first pick next year?
They're gonna have nobody, and like they have Gardner Minshew.
It's crazy, like just how literally like, what was it, 2 years ago?
They should have been in the Super Bowl.
I don't know about that, but
no, they blew their lead.
Well, yeah, they blew it, but like, yeah, they had like a 10-point lead going into the fourth. Yeah, they blew it, but they had Saxonville. I mean, they were elite. I mean, they still have ball players like Calais Campbell.
They really fumbled the bag.
Yeah. And like plus you had Tom Brady, he had like 12 stitches in his throwing hand. It should have been game over.
But Bortles just couldn't do it.
Yeah, and they really just blew it. They really had a chance to make it there. Who were they would have played the Eagles? That would have been kind of a grudge fest because you get two really good defenses, even though when they played the Patriots, the defenses weren't really playing that well. It's kind of ironic how you have a high-scoring game when you thought it was going to be like a low-scoring game, and then the next year you get the lowest-scoring game in Super Bowl history when everyone thought it was going to be a shootout.
Yeah.
But anyways, back to the Jags. I don't know.
It's a toss-up. They could draft anything, and they want to be criticized. I don't think.
I think, yeah.
Best
I mean,
player.
The only thing they wouldn't need is maybe like if they keep Leonard Fournette, they wouldn't need a running back. And they wouldn't need like a right end for Calais Campbell.
Yeah, I think it's just best available player, really.
Honestly, yeah, it's just like pick a name out of the bag. So now we have let's see,
Cleveland at 10.
we're at 10. Browns, correct?
A really underperforming team last year. Yeah.
Yeah, they were disappointing, and there's potential Odell to Vikings rumors.
Yeah, I heard those were fake, but I don't think he wants to be there.
If that happens, we're talking about the Vikings having maybe the most explosive offense in the league, right next to the Bucs and the Chiefs, and I guess the Ravens also. They have Dalvin Cook. If they add Odell, that would be crazy.
But make up for the loss of Diggs.
Yeah, them losing Diggs was
Yeah.
huge, and he's going to the AFC East. So going back to what we were talking about,
Yeah. That's going to be a really interesting division this year.
yeah, I think that might give the Bills the edge to win it. Really,
Diggs.
Yeah, Diggs.
Oh.
So let's see, who do we have them taking? I think a lineman might be safe.
Yeah, if Thomas is still available, you got to pick him.
I think Andrew Thomas is a good
Or
pick.
Becton out of Louisville.
Yeah,
I'd say one of those two.
Yeah, because it's so weird with them because it's hard to know who they have right now because we don't know how
Baker's
well
gonna play.
Yeah, we don't know how well Baker's gonna play. We don't know how well Odell's gonna play. He did not play well last year.
Yeah, Landry and Njoku.
Yeah, their only like bright spot is Chubb.
Chubb was great last year.
Yeah, that's the only like bright spot they have on that team really. So I think they get a lineman. Hopefully, all those egos with Baker and Odell and all that, they all mesh. Their chemistry's on point. They have a good lineman. They have running game. They have the receiving core.
Pretty good defense and Myles Garrett.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think a lineman's a good choice for them.
Yeah, they got to do better than last year. Like last year was a disaster with Perry Kitchens at coach who was fired after 1 year.
Yeah, that's rough. So now we have the Jets.
My Jets.
This is where we'll stop. So what do you see from a Jets fan? What do the Jets need?
So what I'm hoping and what they need also is either offensive lineman or a receiver, which I really like Judy. So
Yeah.
I hope they pick Judy, but I would also be fine if they get Andrew Thomas or even Becton, which Becton has had some question marks. Like there was I don't know if he failed the drug test or had a diluted sample was one of the two, but so there's that question mark, but I hope that's not a big deal. But I see them picking offensive lineman.
Yeah, I think a lineman would be smart. Got to protect your franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
But
if they get Judy, I'll be happy.
Yeah, I think like a receiver would be a good option because you add to that potentially lethal offense where you have your running game in Le'Veon Bell, you have your quarterback in Sam Darnold, and you have a stud wide receiver. It could be like Justin Jefferson, Judy, Ruggs,
Ruggs
even
is quick.
Yeah, CD Lamb even. Like
Yeah, T. Higgins. T. Higgins is really good, but this is too early for him.
Yeah, and I think they have potential for a really like explosive offense next year. But a lineman would definitely be a good pickup.
Yeah, lineman or receiver, either one I'm good with. Because they signed Perryman also, who was on your Bucs last year.
From the Bucs, yeah.
He was really good last year to replace Robbie Anderson, who went to the Panthers. So.
Yeah, I'm just going to touch upon the Bucs real quick. I think this mock draft has them picking Jerry Jeudy. I would not want them to pick a wide receiver.
That'd be who would start?
It would don't get me wrong. It would be awesome having three
Especially on
great
Madden.
wide receivers
Yeah.
and Gronk and OJ and Cameron Brate.
That
But I
that's
just
just too good to be.
I think alignment's the way to go. You got to
Mhm.
protect Brady, especially he's like 50 years old now. You got to make sure he doesn't take any hits
Yeah.
because when you're young, you can take a lot of hits. When you start getting older, it's going to be harder to throw the ball and
Yeah.
take those hits game after game.
If he can't stay protected, it doesn't matter who you have at receiver.
Yeah, I mean, right. You look at the 2015 AFC Championship game between him and the Broncos, like that line couldn't block anybody.
Mhm.
You had Von Miller going off on him. And to be fair, that game probably should have gone into overtime because Goskowski missed the extra point, so they had to go for 2 at the end. But either way, they were not blocking anybody. And we've seen Brady, his only, and this is just like any other quarterback, his flaw really is whenever he is under pressure, that's when you can really disrupt his game.
Because he's not good at really
Yeah,
evading tackles.
he's not too elusive. He's definitely not mobile. It's hard for him to get out of the pocket. We need a lineman to really patch stuff up. We just got Hagues from the Colts. We have Jensen. We got Murphy. We have a really good, I think, a potentially really good offensive line. Not to mention we have 3 tight ends who could block for us. The only thing is maybe in the second round we take a running back. I think that would add to the offense because that's really the only weak spot in our offense right now is a running back.
Do you
Ronald
think
Jones is
Yeah, Jones is a good backup, but he'd be good to have as a backup on the team. But I don't know, not a starter exactly.
yeah.
Do you see them possibly trading OJ Howard?
Maybe there was a potential trade rumor sending him to the Redskins for their left tackle.
Or Trent Williams?
Trent Williams. He's an elite left tackle, and I wouldn't be mad at all if they traded OJ to get him
Washington.
because you get a great offensive line now, especially if you draft another offensive lineman. And I get you're kind of throwing away your future with like a potentially young stud tight end.
Mhm.
But at this point in time, I think him and Cameron
Brady's not lasting long either.
yeah, they're kind of in win now mode, and him and Brate are kind of just right there, Like, I think in a couple of years it'll definitely be a different story between him and Brate. But I think that as of right now in win now mode, if both tight ends are really just kind of even right now, I think ship him off and get that crazy good left tackle and Trent Williams and add him to that line, and you're definitely going to be protecting Brady. If Brady's protected, if he's in the pocket, he still looks like he's 25. Yeah. So I think a lineman first round, second round, get a running back to take some pressure off Ronald Jones.
I do think the other side to that OJ Howard trade would be, it also doesn't hurt to have depth, in case because Rob Gronkowski does have a injury history, so
yeah, I think
it doesn't hurt to have OJ Howard there.
I think a smart thing for them would be to maybe for the first 2 downs have Cameron Brate and OJ catching passes, and then maybe for a third down specialist or a red zone target, then that's when you put Gronk in. Don't have him block as much because I feel like when he starts blocking a lot, like he did in New England, that's where he gets hurt a lot. I think for this point in his career, I think it's good that he's lost some weight. You don't want him taking big hits and all that stuff. You kind of keep him a little quicker, take some pressure off his joints and all that stuff. But yeah, I think you got to limit his blocking, even though he's a very good blocker. And I feel like use him mainly for third downs and for a red zone threat. I think that's when you're gonna have your most effective offense because I think the defense is gonna lay off of them to start the season. I think they're gonna be like, well, you're gonna have to show us that you're the Gronk of old, and that you can still play. And once he starts doing that, then I think that's when you're gonna have the defense kind of scrambled. But I think
I
they've
wouldn't be
got a lot of
surprised if he
potential.
has a slow start to the year just because he's been out for a whole year.
Yeah,
But
and people are taking him being out for a year as him being rusty, but I almost see it as a year of complete rest.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that works out. Like Le'Veon Bell did a similar thing, and he was slow for most of the year, but it just depends on the player really.
Yeah, and I think that either that rest can be useful or it
Yeah.
could be rust, you know.
I think the way he plays though, he'll be okay soon enough.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, that's going to wrap it up. I think we covered all the news we got for today. We covered Gronk, the draft, and we'll have an episode covering the draft after it happens, maybe a day or so later, something like that. And yeah, we'll see y'all later.
Cool. See you.